Welcome back to TechRadar. I'm Matt Phillips, joined today by a home cinema and resident Zelda fan, Henry St. Ledger. How you doing, Henry?
I'm good, and that is on my business card. Please refer to me as my official title at all times.
There we go. Exactly. And the reason I wanted to get you on, Henry, is obviously we had a Nintendo Direct last night. Some people liked it, some people didn't, but they were celebrating Zelda's 35th anniversary, and as part of that, they announced that Zelda Skyward Sword, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD, is coming to Nintendo Switch. So I want to find out from you, are you excited about this announcement? Is it a good announcement? Is it a bit of a letdown? Where are you at with it?
I'm very excited for this, but it's definitely going to vary between each person. Skyward Sword is one of the games I never got to play. I never had a console.
You never had a Wii?
Ran it. No. I went round to my mate's house to play Wii Sports and that. I definitely watched him play Skyward Sword at one point. So getting it on Switch and seeing that they've really thought hard about how to transfer the motion controls from the Wii Remote and the Nunchuck onto the little Joy-Cons, I am excited for it. I'm excited to see it in HD. The Nintendo Directs are always tricky because people always expect loads of things that aren't going to happen, and Nintendo is always very explicit about, we're announcing only like one thing. We're only announcing things that are coming in like the next 3 months. Chill. Well, but we can't help it.
They did come out and say that. They said this is going to be a roadmap for the next 6 months, which I think tempered expectations. But then one of the early announcements in the Direct was for 2022, right? It was like a sequel to Octopath Traveler, I think, and it's got a crazy name. And that got people excited. So then it's like, yeah, you can come out and say you're only going to set up the next 6 months. As soon as you break that promise during the Direct, I think you get people's expectations a little bit hyped. And so they introduced Skyward Sword by bringing out the director of Breath of the Wild 2 and him very quickly saying, I'm not going to talk about Breath of the Wild 2, I promise. I'm here to talk about Skyward Sword, which I think, again, is just a bit of a okay, fine. Because people were hoping...
Thank you for being upfront, at least.
Exactly, but people were hoping for Breath of the Wild 2. So Skyward Sword, I know a lot of fans, hardcore fans of Skyward Sword out there. Some people saying, I saw on Twitter last night, I'll see if I can find the tweet to drop it in here. Some people saying it's the best Zelda story ever told. And you're right, a lot of people didn't get the chance to play it on Wii, and so bringing it to the Switch is exciting.
I can't speak for the quality of the story, I haven't played it, but it is the origin story of the Zelda franchise, not the first game, but the game set earliest in the many branching alternate timelines. So I think it's very fitting for Zelda's 35th anniversary to go back to its roots in a narrative sense, and really refresh people on the mythology, especially because the very small single Breath of the Wild 2 trailer we did get at E3 a year or so ago did have a couple of hints that maybe some aspects from Skyward Sword, particularly the big bad, might be reappearing. So I think it might be quite a smart move to say, just refresh up on Skyward Sword, no big deal. Like there's no reason for this. We just want you to play this game. And then you get to Breath of the Wild 2 and you're like, oh, now I realize why I replayed that game.
That might be really interesting, right? They even harped on a couple of mechanics within Skyward Sword that I guess were evolved, right, into Breath of the Wild. The stamina meter and the kite parachute
Collecting
as well.
bugs.
Collecting bugs, always fun.
All of your favorite Zelda mechanics.
All of your favorite Zelda mechanics. But then what do we think then that this means for Breath of the Wild 2? Is Breath of the Wild 2 potentially much further out than a lot of people were hoping, do we think?
Probably just because people are always hoping it's coming next week.
Sure.
But I think it's good to keep in mind that it is Zelda's 35th anniversary. Happy birthday, Zelda. And we've only opened the first present. There's going to be more down the line. You know, we're hearing rumors about remastered Wind Waker and Twilight Princess coming to Switch. I think that is potentially quite likely.
Yeah.
But there are definitely more announcements coming in the year. If you look at what we saw for Mario's 35th, we saw a Mario Battle Royale game. We saw a collection of 3D remasters for Switch, like a host of things.
Yeah.
So there's definitely more to come, but I do think Breath of the Wild 2 is probably going to be the last present we open. I think it's likely we get a few more remasters, so maybe like some unexpected Zelda spin-off games. Maybe at the end of the year we get a release date, but I'm not expecting to see Breath of the Wild 2 until early 2022, which would be the 5-year anniversary of the Switch releasing and Breath of the Wild 1 releasing, which in my mind has that kind of perfect Nintendo symmetry to it.
Interesting, yeah. And I'm curious to get your thoughts on this then, because so a lot of rumors before the Direct were coming out that maybe we see new hardware at this Direct, right? Maybe we see a Nintendo Switch Pro or whatever they decide to call it. Do you think maybe that coincides with your kind of prediction on when we might see Breath of the Wild 2? Do you think it's likely to get a new hardware release alongside that game that can run a bigger open world or whatever it is?
I think that's pretty likely. Not just for Breath of the Wild 2, though. Nintendo loves launching flagship Zelda titles on new pieces of hardware.
Sure.
It just loves it. And 5 years after the original Switch, we've obviously seen the Switch Lite, but we haven't really seen a meaningful update to the base hardware. And even a small improvement to resolution processing, like maybe a couple little interesting new features, would do a lot to push a new Breath of the Wild 2, as well as Super Smash Bros. Given that the DLC pipeline is running out this year, and I'm expecting to see a new Smash Bros. At some point in the next couple of years, and I could definitely see Breath of the Wild 2 launching on a new Nintendo Switch Pro, whatever it's going to be called, and then 6 to 9 months down the line, we see another Smash Bros. And just the whole cycle begins
Repeats.
again.
Absolutely. So I want to run by a couple of other announcements and get your quick thoughts on them. Mario Golf. Thumbs up, thumbs down. What do we think?
I'm not even thumbing that. I just, if you're excited for Mario Golf, go ahead.
I'm super excited for Mario Golf. A story mode in a Mario Golf game? Hell yeah, I'm all about it.
I'm just here for the costumes. This is the main thing I love about all the Mario sports games, is everyone looks fucking ridiculous, and that's a Mario game.
Sure,
where everyone looks silly anyways.
The other big announcement that I know a lot of people are excited for, and had a kind of a weird post-apocalyptic trailer which almost didn't match the game at all. I thought it was going to be something completely different. Splatoon 3. Are we excited at all for Splatoon? Obviously, you didn't have a Wii. I'm guessing you didn't have a Wii U either, did you?
Nah. No, Splatoon isn't a franchise that appeals to me much personally, but it's a big multiplayer franchise, and it's a relatively new one, which is exciting in itself, with Splatoon and ARMS being two examples recent years when Nintendo's been like, oh no, we do need some more first-party franchises that aren't Mario and Zelda. I think it's really good. We're going to see a continuation of it, and it looks suitably chaotic.
Yeah. And then finally, I think one of the big announcements for a lot of people out there, was Mario costumes and items coming to Animal Crossing. Is this going to get you excited and back into Animal Crossing, do you think, Henry?
No, but I think it's a nice addition. It allows us journalists to write headlines like Mario is coming to Animal Crossing.
And that's the benefit. One of the things I thought was interesting is I think this is, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think this is kind of the first content drop for Animal Crossing that really adds new functionality to the game. So you're going to be able to build a warp pipe that sends you from like one side of your island to the other. Most other stuff that's been added to Animal Crossing is purely aesthetic. So this actually does get me excited enough to potentially jump back into Animal Crossing and try and grab these things. One thing I'm a little bit unclear on, and again, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, are these just timed event items that we need to get as part of Mario's 35th anniversary? Or is this kind of stuff going to be in the game for a long time? Either way, I can see myself jumping back in and getting some of that Mario goodness in Animal Crossing. I'm excited about it. Any final thoughts, Henry? Anything else that stood out to you during this?
Definitely the new Smash Bros. DLC characters. I'm always on the lookout for more of those.
Did you really need more Xenoblade characters, though?
I didn't need more Smash Brothers characters. We don't need any of these things.
True.
But it's always exciting just to see like what are the small iterative changes. How is the moveset going to be just that little bit different? And I just thought it was very interesting. They went with some supporting characters from Xenoblade Chronicles rather than just Rex, the protagonist. I think it's always nice when Nintendo feels like it's giving thought to a section of fandom that isn't already super represented.
Sure.
As much as I would love like a random Zelda character coming out of nowhere, we have enough of those. But just like, you really like Xenoblade Chronicles. Well, you just here are some more toys for you to play with. I think is always really lovely.
Yeah, and I think that Smash community is so passionate about that game, and so any new content that they get, and they're always excited about it. And the support that Nintendo have shown that game is pretty unprecedented for Nintendo, right? To like keep a game going as long as they've kept Ultimate going. Yeah, it's really exciting that they keep getting more content.
This is part of the reason I am finding it hard to predict when a new Smash Bros. Will come out, because I just keep thinking they're still busy. Yeah, they're still making stuff for it. Like, how can they be making one alongside?
I personally probably don't think that they are. I think Smash Ultimate. I think it's called Ultimate for a reason, right? They brought back every character they've ever had. They keep adding to it. I don't see why they would need to. I'm sure that they're probably making more money off of Smash Ultimate than they made off any other Smash game because of the DLC model. And I think it's been a success, so why rock the boat? I think, like you say, if a pro version of the Switch does come out and they do want to release more Smash, then it's just more characters in the pipeline, right? And maybe a little bit better visuals, runs a little bit better on the new console. But there's no reason, I don't think, to bring out a Smash Ultimate 2 or whatever they would end up calling it.
Yeah,
and kind of dividing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And dividing that player base, I don't think there's any need for it. So there we go. Thank you very much for joining me, Henry. I really do appreciate it. Let me know down in the comments below what your favorite announcement from the Direct was. Were you a little bit let down? Were you really hoping to see Breath of the Wild 2? I know all of us were, but it's just not happening yet. Stay tuned to TechRadar though, because when it does happen, I promise you we will be covering it. So consider liking the video, subscribing on YouTube, and finally heading to techradar.com for all the latest tech news and reviews. We will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.